Full-blood Mexican.
Okay. okay, sweet. But so Johnny's a chef, right? When did you start doing that? Because I remember we used to work together. That was the whole thing, right?
Exactly.
The good old days. Like, I don't know if it's the good old days, but
Days.
yeah. When did you start to do all your chef stuff, or
I basically started cooking when I was in high school, so around 16, 17 years old, my junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I basically kind of knew all my life that I wanted to be a chef. I only gave myself in life 3 options. I was either going to be a professional soccer player. Clearly didn't work.
yeah.
I was either going to be a sportscaster or a chef.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, well, it's probably easier and cheaper to try to be a chef. So if anything, I can try to be a chef. And if that doesn't work out, then I just go back and spend money. School for sports broadcasting. But luckily, being a chef worked out for the most part.
Yeah. So did you go to school?
I did. I went to Johnson and Wales University.
Okay. I don't know.
Forcefully?
Is that Wales?
Yeah.
Okay.
Johnson and Wales University. Yeah, basically. I went to the one in Colorado.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
They used to have 4 branches, but then they closed 2 because of COVID. But I was actually the second to last class to graduate with before they closed. So luckily they got it before. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so you went to school for, I don't know how long is culinary school?
You can either do a 2-year program or 4-year program, but I knew I didn't really want to be in there, so I was like 2 years and I'll get my degree, get out, go back to just working. So
was it hard?
I wouldn't really necessarily say it's hard. It's just one of those things where it's like if you enjoy it and it's kind of easy to learn, because it's kind of just basic shit that you would learn, like how to bake, how to butcher fish, how to season food, make sauces. Like there's kind of every 10 days you have a different kind of course. So you learn breakfast and lunch, you learn how to make soups, sauces, how to butcher meat and fish, that kind of stuff, Italian, French, whatever you kind of wanted to. Front of house, wine tasting, coffee tasting, all that kind of stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, basically they're trying to get you ready for but those type of schools kind of just teach you only for the fine dining way you're kind of doing it, for top echelon kind of places.
I see.
Basically. Basic, simpler, home style cooking, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
They want to teach you for the higher echelon, because for them basically if they can produce people that work in higher end restaurants, then it kind of boosts up their name, which means they can get more students, which equals more money.
Yeah.
So for them, it's if they can scoot you into more fancier names, work with people who are really well known, it's kind of better for them.
Okay. Okay. And you're, what were you saying? You were working. You started. There's something about this new startup that you were talking about.
I just helped Chef Sarah. She was on Top Chef Portland, and we just helped running the kitchen for this new interactive museum called Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's actually the second one that they're opening. The first one was in San Antonio, Texas. So from what I've seen, it's really cool. We have 10 to 14 different rooms. We have a VR room where people can just choose whatever they want to be, like a sword slayer, slaying dragons. Sure. We have a whole mirror room. It's like a maze. Yeah. Which is trips me out, because every time I'm in there, I feel like I'm gonna run into something and just break everything. So it's
okay.
And the first room is actually pretty interesting, because it's neon lights that are just it's kind of like a rave in there, but the whole floor is made out of a waterbed, and they use that kind of as a jumper. Oh. So you get to just go in there and fuck around and just
So is it just literal waterbed floor? Is that what
basically. It's like a mix of a bouncy house and a water.
Okay.
Bed.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
it's crazy. So the interactive museum, is it just I'm assuming it's just an entertainment place
basically
for adults?
It's for adults and kids.
Okay.
So basically it's for the whole family. It's kind of there for a little bit of everybody. But
okay, yeah.
But they're hoping that it'll be more higher end people, because that's kind of what our food and our drink program is based off about.
Okay. So the food and drink program you guys have specifically, is it a separate restaurant that's within
basically as you walk into the museum, the first thing you walk into is kind of just a little lounge area where they check in your ticket, you got to check in for your reservation. There's just a standing bar there, and then behind that is our kitchen. So it's kind of you go in, place your order on the kiosk, and then get your drink, and then we deliver the food to you. So
okay. That's sick.
It's almost fast food-esque kind of in a way.
Yeah. Did you ever see yourself getting into doing something like that?
Something like that? No, never. I always thought I would just be standard brick and mortar restaurants, just slaying away in a kitchen, just being hot, steaming, dealing with angry people all the time. So,
And you did that for a while, right? You did that specifically, just working the regular brick and mortar kind of job, and then slowly working your way up. Is that kind of how?
Basically, yeah. I've kind of been working my way up for the last 8 years. I've been doing this, so it's
If you could tell your past self something that maybe you wish you would have knew, or something that you thought, if I knew this when I was younger, might be helpful, or like, or anybody that's trying to get into the, I guess like the culinary, or even just like trying to work their way up in their career.
I'll kind of just tell people, be like, just have fun with it, man. I'm like, we're there, we're just making food. You're gonna hang out with cool people, hopefully. But if not, I mean, you can just always do stuff your own way. But it's also like, just have fun. Like, you're cooking food. It's like, go in there, try to enjoy the people you're with, try to cook food like the way you want to cook for your mom or something like that. Be like, just enjoy yourself. Like, too many people I think in the industry like want to be like big shot, because nowadays I feel like since being a chef is like so popular now, like there's all these internet chefs, all these TV chefs,
right.
like everything's kind of blown out into proportion. Kind of, it's not really more about food now than it used to be. But I feel like if you really want to get into it and just want to focus on the food, like, it's cool, but just remember that it's like, it's not that serious. Like, it can be, but it's also like, I personally don't think it's worth like slaying your life over just like hopefully this getting there. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Because like in this industry, it's like you're replaceable, like that. It's like you'll be gone one day and your replacement will be there the same day you're already there, or just like the next day. Like you won't even be a thought. So it's like, go in there, try to be the best that you possibly can be, but don't, just try to enjoy yourself. I mean, like, people try to talk to me as like super stressful. It is, because like super labor intensive. It's like, if you enjoy what you do, it's kind of just like, it's fun. It's like you're basically like you're hanging out with a bunch of friends and you're just like, you're just cooking. Yeah, it's like, imagine yourself just having like a big old barbecue just like every day. So it's like,
okay, yeah, I like that. I think that's huge. I feel like even, you know, in just any other industry, like, just have fun with it.
Exactly.
And just like don't take yourself too seriously.
Exactly.
I feel like when people take themselves too seriously, yeah, you can. I mean, there are times where you need to be serious and you have to be professional and do all those things, but I think there's a time and place for that.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that if we are, I don't know, if it's just like just too serious all the time, it's just like not fun.
Exactly. What I've learned over the last couple of years is like, I've gained more people's respect and more people have been willing to follow me from restaurant to restaurant. I do, like coworkers wise, they want to follow me everywhere I go, just because I don't try to be like a dick or like a leader, just be like big boss man. I try to be it as if, I don't ever want to say people work for me. I always want to say I work with people.
Yeah, you work together. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
In a kitchen, you're basically a team. If you're the leader and you're not showing leadership skills and you're just leaving everything to the people below you thinking that that's leadership, then you're kind of failing as a chef. I like to think of it as like you're either a team captain or you're like a babysitter.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Do you have a lot of people that follow you? You know what I mean?
I do. I usually have.
I just left a whole like.
Yeah, I just left. Exactly. Basically, I basically, from my last job that I just left, I have maybe 4 to 5 people that already like called me or texted me, be like, hey, whenever you get a new job, can you just tell me, I'll come work for you? And I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Basically, because I feel like it's better to lead with compassion. I try to treat people more like I'm their big brother more than anything else. Yeah. Because I feel like it's more relatable to people than just being like, oh, do this, do that, and then like not care about them.
100%.
Like I want people to feel as if we're friends, because I feel like if you go into a job and you're like, oh, it's just my boss, it's kind of just like.
Yeah, you look at the person as in like, sure, you may have respect for this person, but there's, I don't know. That's all there is.
Exactly.
It can be very surface level at that point.
Exactly.
Right?
I want people to believe that we have a friendship. I want to develop friendship with the people I have, because if I develop friendship with the people I have, it's easier to communicate with people than it is if it's just you're somebody's like employer, employee, or something.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean even us. I mean, we haven't really talked in a while, a long time, and we used to work together, kind of. Exactly. You know, in the same place. Exactly. And we're hanging out pretty much every night. And it's like, oh yeah, we work here. We knew all the stuff that was going on at the place we were working at, all the people that we're working with, and we're like, oh, I don't know what's happening with these people.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, I think that's huge. Like thinking and like going in with like, oh, I want to have a deeper, not in a weird way, but like I want to have a more than surface level. Yeah. More than surface level connection with somebody. And it's like, oh, even if we never talk again for like the next 2 years, I'm not going to be like, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, you want to go hang out or you do something?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you do anything else other than work in like food?
I've basically only ever worked in kitchen. Besides my first job was kind of just like a tutor at my old elementary school I used to go to.
Okay.
So that was basically like the first job I ever had.
Yeah.
And then basically from there, I've only ever been doing kitchen stuff.
Okay.
So my only life has really only been
cooking food?
Kitchens, cooking food, talking to people, kitchens. I'm probably useless in anything else. So I'm totally like,
yeah. Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, in any other, I feel like field. I feel like I've kind of was like the opposite. You kind of stuck with one field, which is awesome, and it's like I respect people that can stick with one field and they stick with one field forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm like over here, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll try this, I'll do this and do this and do this, and
which is always cool too. Like I have a bunch of passions too, which I just do a little bit to the side. So I'm just like I have my main goal, my main job, like my main focus on life, and then like on my off days when I don't have to think about my main life, my main job, it's like I have all these little hobbies on the side.
Okay, so yeah. No, I mean I think it's hard because I don't know. I guess it depends what you like. What are your goals? What do you want to do in the future, right? So outside of cooking, what we were just talking about it. You play soccer?
I play soccer. It's kind of one of my main hobbies.
You game? Do you game? You play like You're like I don't
really game. It's one of those things where it's like
I'm not a child.
No, I'm into video games, but it's like I'll play for like 2 hours and I'm just like I'm kind of done. I was like. I like it's crazy to think about. Back in the day, I used to play for like 12 to like 14 hours.
Is that crazy? Yeah.
It's like, and now I'm just like I play for an hour and two. I'm just like,
because we're adults,
dude.
We're adults now.
Yeah, basically. I'm just like I'm tired. I'm hungry. I gotta go do stuff. I'm just like, even when I try to just game, I'm just like,
you're like
I have to be like,
you have to be in it.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you like have games that you just play by yourself? You like.
My 2 games are mainly just like FIFA and Call of Duty. Oh yeah. It's like those are my go-tos. So
did you get the new FIFA?
I have
the newish.
Yeah, I have it. Pretty good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's honestly pretty shit because it's like because this is the last FIFA that EA is doing.
Right, because then they're changing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what are they changing it into?
I think they call it just EAFC, its own thing. I don't think they wanted to spend money on like more licensing and having to change everything. I don't know. They probably own the license.
Huge name.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna forget FIFA
exactly.
Unless you've never played it, right?
Exactly, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about. I haven't played FIFA since like 2002, so it's
yeah.
I spend a lot of my time toy hunting, so it's
okay.
Okay.
Like what?
I collect anything Spider-Man, Ninja Turtle, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, all that kind of stuff. Basically, because it's not necessarily hard to find Ninja Turtle and stuff and all that kind of stuff, but like when I want to find like real, I try to look for like original Ninja Turtle stuff, so like 1990, that kind of stuff. So it's like if I can find it, like I will, but it's so expensive.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like what? Oof. What's like a price? Okay, what's the most money you spent on like a figure or like?
The most money I spent on a figure is I haven't gone too crazy because usually when I do go and spend, I usually buy multiple things.
Okay, yeah.
So I think the most I spent on one single item is like $275.
Okay.
Which isn't crazy, but it's like, but it's still to some people it'll be like you spend like when I talk about it with my mom, she's like you spent that on a toy. I'm like, Mom, it's not a toy.
Yeah. This is my life.
Yeah, basically, like my mom sees my whole living room is just like a kind of like a little toy store kind of.
Yeah.
And she sees it and she's like, that's what you spend your money on, just on toys and that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, what's the difference between me spending all this money on toys and you spending money on purses and shoes? And just like, that's what makes you happy. This is what makes you happy. So it's like, we all have our own niche.
Right. I mean, yeah.
The only thing is like my stuff will keep going up in value. Yours is just going to go down. So it's like.
Yeah. So did you always like collecting stuff and like all that stuff? Or you just kind of just like got into it just because? I
kind of just got into it just because. Like I think I just like slowly just bought like one thing and then like I was like, oh, this is a cool thing. I'll just buy one thing at a time. And then it got to a point where I was just like, if I'm gonna collect this shit, I'm like, I might as well just like not necessarily dedicate myself to it, but
go
like,
hard at it.
Yeah, just go hard at it. Exactly. I was like I own like every single, as far as I'm aware, I own every single Funko of Ninja Turtles ever released. So I'm just like.
I don't know if
exactly.
I'm not sure what that means.
Exactly. It's a law. I'll show you after. Okay. You'll be like, oh shit. Oh.
Do you? What was really popular when I was living in Hawaii? One of my uncles, he actually collected Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. That's a big community.
It was like you would literally go into his house and his wall, like no joke, the walls. Hot Wheels.
Exactly.
All the way down like the wall.
It's crazy to think about. We had all this stuff as kids just for like shits and giggles, and now it's like it's a business.
Now it's
like,
money.
Exactly, it's money. Now I just think about it. I was like, all the shit I had as a kid. Like I see people spending like hundreds of dollars on buying like Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, I sold it to my neighbor for $5 because I didn't want it anymore. And I was like, you want $5? I was sick. And now I'm looking back and I was like, wow. I was like, it's money. I'm like, I could have sold this.
Yeah, no, I mean. Thinking about like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, like all that stuff.
Exactly. Like I went to the Portland Comic-Con last year and I was like, I could have sworn I had 2 cards that were on display that were worth $500. I swear to God, which is insane to thing about for like,
it's just
like a piece of like fake paper.
Yeah, it's just collectibles, right?
Exactly.
I mean, and it's what collectibles are collectibles because they're collectors,
exactly,
right? People that deem them as valuable, I guess, right?
Exactly.
So it's like I guess you're one of those collectors for your is the Ninja Turtle stuff like your main stuff that you like?
That's like probably like the golden child along with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like my golden crown. But like, other than that, I collect just like stuff that I remember as a kid that's like really cool. So I collect like wrestling stuff, Pac-Man, Sonic, all that kind of stuff.
So pretty much like 19. What is that? 19.
Basically anything between like late 90s, early 2000s, like my niche.
Okay. Do you have like specific stores you like go to and like check out things or?
I strictly only go to Cosmic Monkey in Portland 3 times a year because every time I go there, I drop minimum $500. So it's like
specific.
Exactly. So I'm very careful about when I go there because it's like they have so much shit that not necessarily that I need, but like shit that is just like so cool and I don't know when I'm gonna see it again. So like I just have to buy it. So it's like that's the weird thing about like being a collector, just like enjoying stuff like that and being into that kind of niche market is that like. You can like it can be cool like once you're there and like maybe the next time you go like you'll never see it ever again for the rest of your life. So it's like
somebody else.
So it's always like a battle when you're in there. It's like I don't need this. I don't like even if I have the money. I was like, do I really want to spend this amount of money on this? And it's kind of like no, but it's also like, am I ever going to get the chance to do it again? So it's like up in the air. It's like,
I mean, worst case scenario, hopefully you can sell it in the future.
Exactly.
Right? I don't know. I mean, I wish I was thinking like that when I was freaking 10 years old.
Yeah. No, I didn't think anybody was thinking about that kind of stuff back then. I was like,
yeah, but you got those, I don't know, these old guys collecting Pokemon cards.
Exactly.
They're collecting full boxes of them, right? Like the base sets, and like they got like 5-6 boxes, and they've never opened them in their life, and now these things are worth like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, exactly. I just finished watching a video for this toy vlog of Ethan Page.
Okay.
Ethan Page toy vlogs.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler, but he also does toy vlogs on the side.
Okay.
And then basically I forgot where he was, but he went to this toy store, and there was a Ninja Turtle like playset dome that has been unopened from 1992, I think. Okay. And I think the retail value for that is around like $4 grand, $4 to $5 grand.
$4
to $5 grand for an unopened toy,
and you've never. Shit. That's the most. So $275 is around the most that you've spent on one thing.
On one thing. Yeah.
On one thing. Okay. Exactly. Okay. This guy spent $4 grand on this.
He didn't buy it. He was just like trying to like bully people into spending that much money into it, which is crazy to think about. Which is I'm like, if you had the money and you're like really into it, then I'll see why the fuck not. But it's like
right.
I don't think I could ever see myself doing that. It's like
that's huge though.
Exactly.
That's like, I mean, sure, if you have the money, like if I'm making, I don't even know, 7-8 figures.
You basically
be like, all right, I'll spend I'll drop $4 grand easy.
$4 grand, exactly.
That's crazy.
For me, it's like more than I make in a month. So I'm like, do I want to give up like 5 weeks of working for like this one thing, even though like it's probably be really cool to have because like apparently there's only like from what the guy at the toy owner said is like there's maybe less than 10 like unopened boxes. Like,
oh wow.
That in recreation that he knows of. So
sure.
It's like,
that's
exactly.
Rare.
At that point, it's like it's rare. It's like,
that's crazy. So do you feel like you're just going to continue like? I'm just going to continue doing, collecting and.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue collecting probably until I either get over it or it's just.
Yeah, until that.
Probably until that, basically. It's like.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like once you start, I don't think you can ever just stop. So it's like.
I feel like you'll always be collecting something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like no in between. It's like.
But like nowadays, people are like back when I was in high school, which wasn't very long ago. Back when I was in high school. It was like, people that watched anime and
those
people that
played weird kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, you're freaking weird. Like, don't talk to that kid.
Yeah, exactly. Now like everybody's all about like Dragon Ball Z, like wearing merch
and it's like, okay, you guys watched 2 anime. Yeah, exactly. You watched 2 episodes and like
you guys watched the most like mainstream shit like possible.
Yep. And so it's just like, I don't know. I guess that's culture now. Yeah, like right now, it's just like things are all right. People like this. Oh, I guess I'll like that too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. There's so much with culture and like, I mean, collecting stuff, being interested in something like, I don't know. It's weird. It's just funny. Like that's so random and like different from what you do, which is cool.
Exactly.
Like this is like that's
like my work life is like super intense. I have to be focused, and then I can just go be a fucking like nerd and just talking to people about like cartoons and video games and like just like fake wrestling stuff and just be like, this is what I like to do. It's like The funny thing about also is like when people like make fun of me for like liking wrestling, like loving wrestling, going to events and all this kind of stuff, and they're always like, why would you spend money on stuff and like watch something that's fake? And I'm just like, tell me what kind of TV shows you watch. Because if you're into like Jersey Shore, like the Real Housewives and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, you're gonna give me shit for like liking shit that's like fake. I'm like, it's just different form of entertainment. I'm just like,
That's like, all right, if you like something, just let that person like that something. That's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing too crazy or like nothing. Like
I never understood why people get offended when people don't like the same things they do. I'm just like, I'm not you. I'm just like,
yeah, good question. Yeah, honestly.
Do you want a boy or a girl for a kid, or do you not care?
Oh, this is serious. Actually, so I know the gender.
Oh, you already know?
I already know. So, by the way, people that don't know, I have a child on the way.
Let's go. It works.
yeah. First try.
Was it like a planned thing? Or was
it was planned.
Oh,
yeah. But, so I know the gender, I'll tell you later, but we expected it. Like, we're like, okay, this is what we want. We want a girl.
Okay.
We were like, okay, we think it's going to be a girl. And then, it wasn't necessarily that we wanted a girl. It was just like, this is what we think it was going to be like. And yeah, it's going to be a girl.
Sick.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Happy for you.
It's going to be a girl. Yeah. So it's huge. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. I don't know how to, I'm not a dad yet. Exactly. So I don't know. You know anything about raising kids?
I mean, yes and no, because like, as like growing up as like the oldest like Mexican in the family, you're always like the automatic like babysitter.
Yeah.
It's like
you're just like, all right, take care of your brothers.
Basically,
honestly,
take care of all your cousins, your fucking brothers.
Even in Hawaii, dude, you legit. Well, where I grew up, everybody was everybody's like brother and sister.
Yeah.
Like it was very, very.
Hawaii is like very communal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's very like family oriented, right? And it's like, if I go to my friend's house, like his mom or their mom's watching over me, and like, take care of my kid, like everybody's watching for each other, kind of thing. Before we go, what was something that like you're like, oh, I just wanna? Did you just have the mindset of like, I want to just get better at this thing, or like I'm just gonna work hard? Or like, what kind of mindset did you have when you were, honestly doing what you do now, and like?
Basically, my mindset was kind of just like, if I'm gonna go into something, I don't necessarily like want to be the best at it or be the best chef, or I don't want to be the most creative, the most avant-garde or anything like that. I just kind of want to be like the go-to guy in wherever I'm working at. Like I want to be like the guy, but I also want to like teach people that you don't have to be like an asshat to be like a good chef or be a good leader. I feel like I want to teach people to like. It's easy, like it's fine to teach like compassion and be friendly with people, because I feel like you'll get better results if you treat people like a human being.
Right.
Like honestly, like it's cliche and like cheesy, but it's like treat people the way you want to be treated. So like I'm constantly like joking with people, just like talking to people about music, what they're into. I was like, I don't necessarily like, maybe I'll take like 2 minutes to learn about them, like what they're into, just so I can be like communicate that. Like even if I'm not into the same thing they are, like I'll either learn about it or just have them explain like a bunch of shit to me, just so we can like be on kind of like the same wave level. Because I don't want people to think that I'm kind of just there just to be there. I kind of want people to be like, oh, this guy's really cool.
This guy's legit.
Yeah, it's got like basically. It's like, just be a good human being.
Which is a great message. It's a great message,
but it's like so hard to find out.
It is.
It's like just be real, just be kind. I was like, just let people live. Basically.
I respect that. That's cool. Well, I appreciate you.
For sure, man. Appreciate you.
Honestly. Let everybody know where you're working again so that people can support your little startup.
If anybody's ever in Portland, if you guys want to try Hopscotch Interactive Museum on 10th Street here in Portland, Oregon, we're opening the kitchen with Chef Sarah from Top Chef Portland. Come enjoy some wacky-ass mac and cheese and waffles, y'all.
Sweet. Cool.
If you guys ever want to ask me questions or anything about kitchen-wise, just hit me up on Instagram at TheChefLayun. TheChefLayun. Thank you, Stanley, for having me again. Let's keep in touch.